So there's a new bundle in the Call of Duty store right now for the Year of the Rabbit, the Chinese New Year. Let's just dive straight in and see what we have. Firstly, this bundle is coming in at kind of the top price range we can expect to see from Call of Duty bundles, coming in at 2,400 COD points, 2,400. But we do get quite a few things in this bundle which we're going to have a little breakdown of. So to start, we have the Zodiac Rabbit, the skin for the Operator Zemo or Zemo, however you want to say it. And I just want to say, I really like this skin. I mean, you won't be blending into Al Mazrah anytime soon like that, sticking out like a sore thumb, quite literally. But I think you kind of get that super cool samurai look, which kind of reminds me a bit of maybe an Infinite Warfare operator, if you remember that Call of Duty, and maybe a bit of the samurai from when you first start in Elden Ring, if you kind of get my drift. But red and black is one of my favourite colour combos anyway, and then with the gold accents around the goggles and the belt buckles, I think that finish is just really nice and really clean. Now we move on to the first weapon blueprint in this bundle. Is the submachine gun, the PDSW, or the P90 for the older generation, the older COD fans, as we know and love it. Now, despite being called the Lucky Rabbit and maybe looking like something you might find in your partner's bedside drawer.
What do you mean by that?
I think this is a really nice weapon skin. Again, it's got a really nice red finish to it, and it's substituting the black with some of that darker red on some of the accents, and then yet again the gold around the barrel, the underbarrel, and some of the Chinese lettering on the back stock there. Unfortunately, with like a lot of these store bundles we get, the weapons in them aren't particularly meta. While not being terrible, as it stands, the P90 sits around mid-range, I'd say, amongst all the SMGs. But if you want to use more of an off-meta pick, then the P90 still holds its own. This P90 has been tuned for precision sight, picture, damage, range, and sprint to fire speed. The second weapon in this bundle is the Chimera Assault Rifle, although it's probably more used as an SMG because it has a ridiculous fast TTK, and you can see a build for that up in this corner around here, maybe there. Probably that corner there. Now, if you take away the scope from this weapon, in my opinion, it looks beautiful. I've always preferred just the plain block color camos that we've been getting anyway. But again, the detailing on this is really nice. Not only do you get the nice rainbow effect on the magazine using really nice pastel colors, you can also just about see it through the barrel of this gun as well. And then again, you have the nice pastely pink rear grip, and then you get some nice bronze accents on the magazine and the gun itself. This is again tuned for precision sight, picture, recoil stabilization, and aiming idle stability. And then we have two weapon charms, the first of which is this Prosperity Rabbit charm, which again looks really nice with the gold rabbit, which I guess is sitting on top of a fortune cookie. I don't know, maybe it's a bit of a donut or a bagel. You tell me in the comments below. And then we probably have my least favourite item in this bundle is the fortune pouch. I mean, it's nice again, it's nice bright colours, but it just doesn't do anything for me. And then we have a really nice emblem called the Great Dragon, nice dragon head, almost surrounded by fire and fireworks going off, and the Chinese lantern in the background. And then we have the Gift of Abundance, which I don't really know what is going on here. Obviously there's some sort of gift being placed down as fireworks and flashing, and it's going to send me into a seizure if I keep on looking at it. But again, it's quite a nice emblem. Overall, this is a pretty decent bundle in my opinion. I'd give it a solid 6.5 out of 10 if I had to rate it. The weapon blueprints are definitely the highlight of this bundle for sure. Why don't you let me know what you think down in the comments below, and while you're down there, just leave a like and subscribe, because why the hell not? It's free to do and takes seconds. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day.